Thank you.
Did you sleep?
Not very much.
Not very much.
But very happy not to sleep.
I want to talk to you because I was seeing you nod out of the corner of my eye, sort of listening to that voter and that conversation that Miguel had. But first out, I mean, you went toe-to-toe with now President-elect Donald Trump. Yes, I know you wanted him to win, but did you anticipate this big of a win? Truth.
Yeah, I really thought that, I mean, I gave a speech 2 years ago at the RNC saying that the way to win the presidency is that we have to change the map. We can't keep trying to chase after Colorado, New Mexico, or New Hampshire. Those states are changing. They're not changing toward the Republican Party demographically and culturally. The places that look most like what Ronald Reagan won in 1980 are Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio.
But you said you needed to do it, but he
actually
did.
No, I mean, I tried to do it, but I didn't. I mean, I failed. I mean, I admit I failed. I mean, I wrote a book 2 years ago called Blue Collar Conservative, trying to chart the path for the Republican Party, saying this is what I learned from my 2012 campaign. Here's the path. It's not, we don't need any more Bain Capital guys running for president. We don't need any rich oil guys.
You heard the voters say professional liars.
Right. Don't underestimate how much Obamacare hurt President Obama in Pennsylvania. Almost a 50% increase in premiums. It was the great lie. You can keep your doctor, you can keep your policy.
Donald Trump pointed it out over and over these last couple of weeks.
It undermined the credibility of President Obama and therefore Hillary Clinton. But it kept with the same thing, which is these people who are out there working hard, haven't had a raise in 20 years. Wages in this country have gone up over the last 20 years less than any other 20-year period in American history. Median income is not going up. And they look at real estate prices going up, stock prices going up. Guys are doing great. They're out there telling them how great they're doing. And then they're trying to tell them, you'll do okay. It'll be okay. We'll give you some more government benefits. They don't want government benefits. They want to go out and work. They want good manufacturing jobs. They want good service jobs. They want good pay increases that are not driven by government, but driven by the fact that they're earning it. And Donald Trump talked about that. He also talked about the importance of immigration, not flooding millions of more people in this country to compete for those jobs, that lower prices on those jobs. And he also talks about trade deals. And in my area of the country, Western Pennsylvania, North Strabane Township, we lost thousands and thousands of jobs. The quality of life for millions of middle-income Americans declined after the manufacturing sector of this economy took a beating, and it hasn't recovered since. And they were looking for someone who shared their pain, and Donald Trump did.
Donald Trump was the guy. What about last time you were on my show, you were saying, shame on you, Governor Kasich, shame on you, Bush.
I mentioned him too.
You did. Well, now we know that Bush 43 called up, actually not just Hillary Clinton, but President-elect Trump. We know John Kasich has tweeted congratulations, Mitt Romney congratulations. These are olive branches now, Senator, that are being extended. Would you accept them?
Oh, absolutely. No, and I don't. You saw last night. Donald Trump's going to accept them. He's a practical
for now
guy.
Or for good.
He's a practical guy. He wants to succeed. He doesn't want to be a loser, right? That's the last thing Donald Trump wants to be, is a loser. And he's won everything. He's won the primary. He's won the general. Now he's got to win here, right? He's got to govern. And you can't govern if your party's divided. You can't govern if there's people sniping at you from
But I think that's part of the big question sort of hanging over, like these clouds in Washington hanging over Americans as they're working through their day, is how will he govern? Because let me just paint this for you. This is what people are saying. You had candidate Trump, who was lock her up, special prosecutor, Hillary Clinton's going to jail, I'm building a wall. But then you had President-elect Trump last night, who graciously stood in front of that crowd and said he owes a huge debt of gratitude to Hillary Clinton. Which will it be?
Donald Trump.
Did I stump you?
No, Donald Trump is someone, if you look at his business acumen, he looks at a market, assesses the market, and says, what product can I sell into that market and be successful? Now, he did that in the primary, changed a little bit in the general, toned it down when he had to tone it down the last 3 weeks. If he'd have run the last 3 months like the last 3 weeks, probably would have won by a bigger margin. But he figured out what he could do, what worked, and he stuck with it. And I think he's going to do the same thing here. Is he going to have bumps? Of course he's going to have bumps. Every president has bumps in the road. But I think he's someone who will assess what is necessary for him to do to be successful, to meet the requirements of the market. And he set the market. He said, we're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to cut taxes. We're going to reduce regulations, get rid of all these executive orders. We're going to build a wall. We're going to cut down on immigration. All of those things are now markers for him, and he's got to figure out a way to be successful. And I think on a lot of those things, he's going to get bipartisan support. I have no doubt he's going to get if he lays it out as a platform to help working men and women in this country. how many Democrats are going to step up and say, no, I don't want to do that?
I think the big takeaway is there are a lot of people in this country we all need to be listening really closely to. Senator.
Always a pleasure, Brooke.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.